Welcome to Insights into Insurance from the A-Team at Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is educational in nature and not intended to be acted upon without first consulting the appropriately licensed professional.
It's a Saturday morning, and that means it is time for our Insights into Insurance program here on 1450 KATE with Americana Insurance. And after a cold Thursday, Tom Sorensen is in the studio. He's all warmed up, and we're going to kick things off right away this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Yeah, brr. But so I've got the fireplace going, and so we're good to roll here now. So
coffee, hot
chocolate, everything. You know, cider. We had our Christmas open house and had the cider and the coffee, and really lots of good people that came into our office the last 2 days. Nice to see them.
Absolutely.
So.
I noticed you put a few pounds on as well.
Yeah.
He snacked just a little bit too much.
Exactly.
Well, let's talk, Tom, on this Saturday morning. Yes, a lot of folks say we don't want to say Merry Christmas. We want to say Happy Holidays. But you know what? For this, it's Christmas time. Merry Christmas to one and all. And Christmas can be a very stressful time of the year.
You know, it's an awesome time of the year, very happy time of year for most people, but Christmas time can also be a very stressful time of the year. And so we kind of got a fairly serious show here today, and there's a certain group of people that it can be really stressful this year, and I just want people to be aware of it, and maybe we can talk about some things that we can do. It's really stressful on our farmers right now. We have had multiple years of high input costs and low prices, and then add in the last couple years, we've actually have had some very, very good yields that have kept farmers out of financial trouble. Okay, well, this year we still got the high input costs, low prices, and we also in our area have had some tough yields.
Absolutely,
this year it was very wet. It was just a weird year. We basically went from winter to summer back to winter without the other seasons inside.
And a lot of rainfall in between, and not much growing temps ideal for be it corn or soybeans. So, yes, it is the holiday season. It is Christmas time. But if you know a farmer, thank a farmer, because as we've said before in this show, when you're sitting down at your supper table, take note that as you're sitting there, it's the farmers that have put the food on the table.
Right. So what we want to discuss today is that I attended the Minnesota Crop Insurance Conference in Mankato back in September, and where there's about 700 plus crop insurance agents that attend this each year, and it's hosted by the University of Minnesota. Well, one of the speakers, they have many speakers and presentations at this crop insurance conference. It's a 2-day conference. And one of those speakers is our special guest today. And she was there to educate us as agents who see the farmers and on a daily basis, to help recognize signs of what do I want to call some
depressional
issues. Yeah, exactly. And so I want to introduce Monica Kramer-McConkey, and she is the Director of Business Development at Prairie St. John's. Good morning, Monica.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. And Monica, if you could just tell us about yourself and your background and what you do, and basically why are you on the show today is kind of why.
Sure. Sounds good. Well, I have to start off by saying I'm a farm girl, grew up on a farm in northwestern Minnesota where my dad, brother, and nephew still farm, so it's a fifth-generation farm, and that really, shaped my personality and who I am and work ethic, and added so much to my life. So it's been great to give back in this way. But as far as my career, I have a degree in psychology and in counseling, and worked for about 12 years doing direct service counseling with children, adults, and family work. And then went into more supervisory administrative positions. I'm currently the Director of Business Development at Prairie St. John's, and Prairie is a behavioral health facility in Fargo, North Dakota.
Okay.
So we serve patients from Minnesota and North Dakota who are in a mental health crisis, who need hospitalization, or who may need ongoing residential treatment for substance use. And we have programs for kids, little kids, adolescents, adults, and just try to really work with folks and get them back on track with life.
Okay. But also one of your focuses right now is a Eyes on the Horizon group that you have, correct?
Yes, exactly. It's been exciting. So apart from my career at Prairie St. John's, I've been asked to speak and train more on the topic of farm stress, emotional stress on the farm, as I like to say it, because there's lots of farm stress, but emotional stress on the farm specifically. And so I've had the opportunity to work with NDSU, with the Minnesota Department of Ag, as you said, the University of Minnesota through the Crop Insurance Conference. And as this developed, I saw a need really to kind of I more identify and put a name to that part of my work. So I do have a company called Eyes on the Horizon, and I'm doing quite a bit of traveling currently and in the upcoming months to speak on this topic really throughout the country. I'll be in California, in Kentucky, and in Wisconsin over the next few months.
Well, let's probably take a break, right, Mike?
Let's take a quick break as we'll get more in depth about the conversation and the speaking that Monica does do, and a little more on the Eyes of the Horizon and some of the stress factors that can be related to a farm crisis. So, Monica, hang tight here. We're going to take a quick break, and we come back. We're going to discuss more about some of the stresses related to the farm crisis on our Insights into Insurance program here on 1450 KATE.
You got a side that wants more space, 'cause every day starts like a race. You got a side that loves that style, but to fit in those shoes gonna take a while. Today life's got you running, tomorrow big things are coming. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
To learn more about how Nationwide can help protect your many sides, call Americana Insurance Group in Albert Lea and Wells.
Welcome back to our Insights into Insurance program here on 1450 KATE. Mike White is your host on this Saturday morning, along with Tom Sorensen from Americana Insurance. And, of course, our special guest this morning is Monica Kramer-McConkie. And, Monica, before we took the break, we talked a little bit about your program, Eyes on the Horizon. Let's kind of dive in a little bit more on about identifying the stresses related to the farm crisis.
Definitely, and many of these have been with farmers forever. It's just that right now it's kind of the perfect storm with the low commodity prices, the tariff situation, in addition to those uncontrollable factors like weather and high interest rates. There are stressors for farmers around being isolated, working in isolation on your farm. It's an occupation that has high percentages of illness and injury. And another really interesting dynamic is the whole concept of competition and how that's changed, where years ago farmers were supporting each other and working together through tough times, where now in our current marketplace, there's really a lot of competition among farmers and among neighbors, and it's more difficult during these times when we really need to depend on each other for help.
And Monica, you mentioned that competition. A lot of times in the years past, it was kind of a joke between farmers that, how much was your yield this year and how much was your yield? Mm-hmm. I think now as the prices have been very uncertain for the last couple of years, now it's not a joke anymore between the farmers. It's the competition. It's stressful, and you never want to be outdone by the farmer across the road. But that's part of that competition process.
Absolutely, as well as just the competition over land, trying to gain as much rented land, especially as possible. And in some cases, it sounds brutal, but farmers are almost waiting for other farmers to go under so they can move in and
snatch up that
more
land.
land. Yeah, yeah.
So what are some of the warning signs, Monica, as far as what should family members look at?
Around stress, depression, anxiety, what I like to tell people is number one is any movement from baseline functioning is a red flag. So you know these people, you know your spouse, you know the other farmers, your peers, or who you're working with as for example, a crop insurance consultant. Are they changing? Does their personality seem to be changing? Are you seeing their mood changing? Is their farming operation changing unexpectedly, where before maybe they kept a neat, tidy farmstead? Are things falling into disrepair? Are equipment, pieces of equipment not being maintained? Are there more signs or symptoms that they may be using substances? You may be seeing them at the bar more than typically, or they're not there at all, and they used to be.
Yeah, actually,
maybe they were at Cenex having coffee every morning for years, and all of a sudden they're just not there anymore. So really, those changes in behavior and in personality are red flags.
And actually, I have been witness to this on a few of our customers, and I love our customers, but I actually have witnessed this. And so these are warning signs that actually I need to be aware of so that I know how to help them out. So if a family member sees these signs or these warning signs, or has, or even the farmer themselves, what can they do? Mm-hmm. What are the resources for them?
So the biggest thing is if you're a family member or if you work with a farmer and you're seeing these things, is to really listen non-judgmentally and to not downplay the seriousness of their situation, because it's all our own perception. So we may see someone else's situation and think, oh, that's not so bad. You should see what Tom's doing down the road. He's in a much worse case. But really, for that person, it's their reality. So to listen without judgment is number one and key. Now, if it's reached the level of being serious to the point where you're really concerned about this person's safety, whether health-related or being a harm to themselves, and looking at suicide potentially being an issue, then it's time to take a little more of an active approach. If someone's in crisis, don't hesitate to call 911 to talk to them about, we need to make sure you're going to be okay. We need to make sure that you're around. We need you here. I need to see you tomorrow. I need to see you next week, whatever the case may be. And so a trip to the emergency department is not unusual for someone in crisis. It's just taking that step that can be sometimes really uncomfortable.
And Monica, also yep. On that same note, if you see someone that is maybe letting the farmstead go and not taking care of the equipment, just walking over and having a cup of coffee and just a visit with them and just to really find out how they're doing. Maybe they'll open up versus a family member trying to intervene. The neighbor may have an opportunity to maybe open up a little bit more than a direct family member.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I think the friends or the people that work with farmers who are in the ag industry do hear more than often spouses or sons, for sure. Very good point.
Sounds like Mike needs to be a psychologist. So anyway.
But there is a shortage in the workforce, so you can feel free.
I'll stay with my day job. Monica, for those folks that would like to maybe reach out and get in contact with you, what's the easiest way to get a hold of you?
Probably the easiest is look for Eyes on the Horizon on Facebook or Twitter. That would be the simplest way to get a hold of me, and my contact info would be there. And very open to having conversations around this topic, even if someone just wants to call and chat about maybe somebody they're worried about and what they should do. They sure can do that.
And they can also give Tom at Americana Insurance a call. You don't have to be a client of Americana Insurance. They have a listening ear, and by all means, pick up the phone and give them a call.
That's right. They can call us at 507-377-2000 or look us up on Facebook also. And then we have a website, americanainsurance.com. And then I got an email, insights@americanainsurance.com. And if for some reason they would like to get your phone number or something, Monica, they can call me and I can give it to them. And then they can contact you, too.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Monica,
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you for taking time out on this Saturday morning to discuss this very important issue, especially it is Christmas time, but it can happen at any time of the year. It's maybe a little more stressful buying those Christmas presents for the family as a farmer. So we appreciate the phone call in this morning, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Monica. Merry Christmas.
You too. Thank you.
All right. That'll wrap up our Saturday edition of our Insights into Insurance program here on Kate 1450.
You've been listening to Insights into Insurance from the Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is educational in nature and not intended to be acted upon without first consulting the appropriately licensed professional.